Hello and welcome. Let's do a quick and dirty EIDL grant and loan update. We'll cover everything you need to know as quickly as possible. That way you can take this information in and then go on with your day. No fluff or no funny business, anything like that. So we have some new data that was just released by the SBA on the EIDL grants, both the $10,000, the $5,000, and the EIDL loans. We're going to cover all the information there. And then also I wanted to spend just a minute or so talking about something to consider with the $10,000 grant after we cover this data. So let's hop into the data here. Like I said, the SBA has unveiled this week's approval data. This is actually last week's, but first off, I wanted just to show the EIDL loan approvals. So we can see the dollar amount last week, $214 billion. And we have a jump up to $217 billion for the EIDL loan. Now, I have reached out to the SBA asking more on the reconsiderations, the increase in loan amounts, some figures there. So expect my next EIDL video to have some information on where we're at with the increase, with to bump up from 6 months of working capital to 24 months of working capital. I'm waiting on some data there directly from the SBA because unfortunately they don't talk about that in these reports. So we don't know that $3 billion that was approved in the last week. We don't know how much of that was the bump up and versus new EIDL loans. But we do have a bunch of information on the EIDL grants, the $10,000 and the $5,000. So scrolling down here a little bit, target advances is the $10,000. We have 271,000 approvals, and the supplemental target advances, we have 193,000 approvals now. And I've extrapolated this data again to a spreadsheet so we can really see what's happening from week to week. You can see it goes all the way from the very first report in April 29th to now July 8th, which was the most recent reporting date. So in the last week, we have an increase in approvals of 19,588. This is not where I wanted to see it because we had this last week of 58,000. I was feeling optimistic. I was thinking we'd probably see it maybe around like 40,000. We didn't hit it. It's unfortunate compared to the week before, but this still is the number 3 spot in terms of most approvals in 1 week. So I guess that's okay, but I know it's frustrating, especially if you've been sitting and waiting far before April 29th, which most people have been sitting and waiting that long, especially when we were told expect 21 days. And 21 days, that sounds like a lottery ticket at this point to be funded in 21 days. That's basically happening to no one. So at this current rate, we had an increase from the past week in approvals of 7.79%, and total number of approved $10,000 advances, 27.12%. And that's based on the 1 million targeted advance approval target. That's a lot of targets according to the SBA. So they were saying that about 1 million businesses who have applied will get funded. Now that's kind of an old number, so I've asked them again, hey, are you still expecting about 1 million or more now that this is opened up to new businesses who can now apply? You still have to hit those 3 eligibility criteria, but new businesses can apply. So I think that number probably has increased a little bit, and there's more than enough funding to fund more than 1 million businesses. So I'm hopeful that after these people get funded, more people will be funded. It'll be open up. There'll be some kind of other qualification criteria to get this $10,000 grant. And we reverted a little bit to the number of weeks to fund all these remaining grants to now 37 weeks. So at least we're less than a year, but this 13-week number was looking a lot better than 37, I'll tell you that much. And then the $5,000 supplemental target advance, this has pretty much stayed in line with what we expected. It flows directly with the 10,000. It seems like most people, they get approved for that 10,000. If they're eligible for the 5,000, they get funded very soon afterwards. And that has jumped up to 193,000 approvals from 169,000, a bump up of 23,000 approvals. Basically, they have all the information they need. As long as you hit the eligibility criteria, you can get that $5,000 additional to a total of $15,000. Increase over the past week, 13.93%, and total approved 19.33%. Now, they have approved just shy of $1 billion for the supplemental targeted advance. There's $5 billion allocated here, so 1 million businesses will get that $5,000, which that's another thing that's interesting to me. I'm hopeful here that funding will be left over and then be reallocated for more people. Maybe they'll lower the eligibility requirement because they have this funding left over, and we can hopefully get some more businesses funded here. Also, I want to say if you have employees, make sure you consider the ERTC, the Employee Retention Tax Credit. This is huge if you have employees. You can't use it for your own payroll. You can't use it for your relative's payroll. If you have like a son or an uncle or something that works for you, you can't use that. But any other W-2 employees, you can receive 70% of their wages back to you as long as you have a 20% reduction in your gross receipts on a quarter-to-quarter basis compared to 2019. So this is huge. If you paid someone $10,000 in a quarter, you will get $7,000 back for your business. And that scales up. There's no limit. Everyone can apply, and it lasts through the year of 2021. I have a video breaking this down further. I will pin that above, but that is a huge program that you absolutely want to consider if you have any W-2 employees. You want to check that out. You'll also want to make sure to consult with your accountant or your payroll processor who should be able to facilitate that for you, because it's not like an application portal that you can just go and jump into. It's based on your actual payroll, so they actually need to do it for you, or you can do it for yourself. It's just a little bit complicated. Like I said, I have a video breaking that down. I will pin that above. Now, we have one more thing that I want you to consider regarding the $10,000 grant, and that's the fact that this program has opened up to new applicants. This is still a recent development in the last month or so. It's opened up to new applicants. Any business, as long as they are in that low income census tract, the business is located in the low income census tract, you have the 30% reduction in gross receipts, comparing an 8-week period in 2020 to an 8-week period in 2019. And you have 300 and fewer employees, you can apply for the EIDL loan, which will also open you up to the application for the $10,000 grant. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably already familiar with this. So the thing I want to pose here is to just go in your contacts and text like 1 to 3 business owners that you know, and just send them the link to the SBA website. I'll have it down in the description, and say, hey, this is a $10,000 grant that you can get for your business, because what's happened here is a lot of people who know about this program have already applied. And those who haven't applied, they maybe heard about it 5 months ago and they're like, oh, well, I missed the application date, you know, whatever. And then they haven't thought of it again. I've personally texted like 10 small business owners, and I've said, hey, this is now open up again. Make sure you apply so you can actually get this $10,000 grant. Now, it might take a while. It might take a while for it to happen, but you could really be a lifesaver to one of these businesses who doesn't even know that it's actually open. So text a friend, text anyone, post it on Facebook that says like, hey, $10,000 grant. Feel free to send them one of my videos or someone else's videos. I just want these businesses to be funded, especially when there is so much funding left here. There's like $30 billion in funding left. So let's get the eligible businesses funded with this program. That's all I got to say. So I hope that you enjoy your weekend. If you want some various offers, check out the links down in the description. Things like free stocks, free crypto, my courses that cover how to start a moving company, how to start a successful YouTube channel, all linked down below. I would like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.